Sam, don't be afraid. I will not leave you alone tomorrow. Let your hands talk in the ring.
He had lots to say, just talking down at me, like I'm a boy, and he's just schooled me and everything.
You thought that was a little bit disrespectful?
No. It's just respect. It's not done respect. I understand this young guy lost fight. Yeah, I say, hey, listen, continue boxing, continue training, continue study. It's great. No. It's respect.
And those are the words of Danny Dubois and Oleksandr Usyk. And you guys heard Usyk, that he took it, or made the comment rather, that Oleksandr Usyk was looking down on him, telling him like he schooled him, like he was talking to me, like he was, as though he was looking down on me, and I thought that was disrespectful. And of course, we heard the rebuttal. We heard the counter from Oleksandr Usyk, like, no, I wasn't. I was just trying to encourage him. He's a young fighter. Keep fighting, keep training. You know what I mean? You're young. So no, I don't think it, and I didn't mean that at all. So no, it was never disrespect. And let me counterpunch. This just shows you how some things you could say versus how people can take what you say versus what you meant. You might have meant, or your wholehearted intention was to uplift, encourage, help, and that person takes it totally different. I have that problem all the time, maybe because, I'm half good guy, half asshole, maybe. I don't know, the way I come at people, I don't know what it is. But keep in mind, this ain't me you're talking about. This is Oleksandr Usyk, a person that doesn't really speak English like that. And you got to think about it. A couple years ago, Oleksandr Usyk spoke even less English than he does now. And he's getting better, but think about it. This was 2 years ago. Okay, so you got 2 years of 2 years ago from a guy that doesn't really speak the language that well. You know what I mean? So there is a language barrier, but there had to be a reason why Danny Dubois took it the way he took it. And there's a story behind that. And I think the story unravels like this. Maybe Daniel Dubois, just maybe Danny Dubois took it as though Oleksandr Usyk schooled me or took me to school or talking down on me, because maybe the way I looked, my demeanor, my tone, I didn't look well. Why he didn't look well, people? Why? Oh, why did Daniel didn't look very good or encouraged? Because the motherfucker quit. That's why. And then when you quit because you mentally gave up because a guy was putting you through the ringer and giving you the blues, and you decided to say, you know what, I quit, therefore I lose. Okay, you're not going to be in the best of spirits. You know what I mean? That's my take on it, because if you look at Danny Dubois, the way he was looking, he didn't really have a lot of feedback. He just pretty much dapped up, just hit the glove of Usyk when Usyk was trying his best to explain in English that, hey, keep training, keep fighting, you're young, Daniel, don't worry, keep fighting, keep training. You know what I mean? So, Daniel took it that way, but maybe, Daniel, you took it that fucking way because you quit, bro. You know what I mean? Now, I'll say this in defense of Danny Dubois. If he feels that Oleksandr Usyk looked down on him, or that's the case, and he needs that, by God, use it. Maybe Daniel needs to think that shit, because Daniel needs an edge. That's why he shoved him. He had to create something, because a lot of times you got to create something out of nothing, especially if there's nothing to really dislike a person for. You got to find some shit to dislike them for. You guys understand what I'm saying? You have to do what you need to do to bring yourself mentally to a level that I don't like this motherfucker, and I'm going to punch him in his face and knock his ass out. So if this is how Daniel Dubois needs to be and needs to feel and needs to think, by God, so be it. Because that's how it gets done. He has to get angry. Has to get mad. He has to do this. So this is what we have. Like I told you, the bad guy has to be created when there's no bad guy. And that bad guy is, of course, Daniel Dubois. He's playing that role, and, you know, he has to keep it there. He has to keep it mindset. No, he wasn't trying to encourage me. No, this motherfucker was trying to talk down on me. He was trying to show me that he schooled me. Well, hell, Daniel, he actually did school you. You know what I mean? And I think Daniel, if he said that, he must have felt that, right? If you felt or said, hey, Oleksandr Usyk, that motherfucker thought he took me to school, didn't he? Yeah, I think he did, though. You know what I mean? When you hit him with that blow that put his ass down for damn near 4 minutes, yeah, I think that pissed him off pretty much so. Especially when it was ruled a foul. You know what I mean? So, yeah, he's going to get up with bad intentions to your face. So, yeah, I think that's exactly what he did. And he put it into hyperspeed by hitting that gas and putting the pedal to the metal. You know, he was accelerating on Daniel's face, and Daniel didn't want no more of that. He didn't want any of that. So he was like, you know what? I'm like Shark Tank. I'm out. Because I'm not going to take these crazy ass shots that I don't see from different angles, like his ass is Neo from the Matrix. No, And so he bowed down. But again, once again, if Daniel feels he needs to feel this way, to think this way, to be this way, be that way. But you guys tell me what you think of Daniel Dubois stating that Oleksandr Usyk, he felt, disrespected him, looked down on him, tried to talk bad about him after that fight. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.